Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to do the percent calculations for the population pyramid alignment. You're going to have to calculate all of the percentages before you can start doing your population pyramid graph. So the math is going to be really important, and it's going to be really important that you do it correctly. So I'm going to start with the U.S. population, and I'm going to just work on calculating all the males first, and I'm going to use the total population for the United States down here at the bottom. And remember, it looks like it's a small number, but this is the population in thousands. So we're actually looking at 321 million people in the U.S. population. So it's a big difference. So going over here, I'm going to take the top number for the first age bracket I'm looking at, which in this case would be 10,211. I'm going to divide it by the total population that was down here on the bottom, which is 321,369. And I'm going to put that into my calculator right now. So putting the smaller number first, dividing by the bigger number. That's going to give me a decimal, but I don't want that. I need to remember to take my answer, which in this case, I'll just write it out for you, is 317. I need to multiply that by 100, and that's going to move the decimal over 2 places to the right. So multiply by 100. And that's going to give me 3.2% because I want to round to the nearest tenth. So I don't want to go past more than 1 decimal. So there's my answer for the first one. And then I'm just going to write that over here, 3.2. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's erase that really quick. Whoops. All right, so now we're going to do the next one, which is 10,448. Divide again by my total population, which is down here highlighted in the orange. So 321,369. Again, enter it into my calculator. Divide that by a bigger number, 369. That gives me 0.033 multiply by 100. Move that decimal over and make a percentage. So it's going to give me 3 point, and if you notice in my calculator, it's 3.25, but I don't want to have more than 1 decimal place, so that 5 is going to make that 2 bigger, so it's going to become 3.3. So, and remember that's a percent. So I'm going to write that over here, 3.3%. So let's do one more. And actually, just to show you the other side, I'm going to do these, actually we'll do 2 more. Let's do these 2 over here. So for the female population, age 0 to 4, there's 9,755. Divide again by the total population down here at the bottom, which is 321,369. So let me clear my calculator. 9,755 divided by 321,369. That gives me 0.03. There's 0 after, so I'm just going to leave it. And again, multiply by 100 to move that decimal over, and that's going to give me 3.0. So I see a 3 over here, but that's too small to make that 0 into a 1. So we're going to ignore it. And we're just going to go ahead and write our 3.0% over here. And then let's do the last one, which is 10,015. Divide again by the total population down here, which is 321,369. And again, put that into your calculator. Smaller number on the top, divided by the bigger number, which is on the bottom. And I get 0.031, but that 1 is going to be too small to round up. So again, that's going to be 3.0%. So I'm going to write that over here, and then you would just continue and fill in the 2 columns for the U.S. plus the 2 columns for male and female for the 2 other countries that you have. Your partner is going to be doing the other sheet, which has data for 3 other countries, so that way you have a total of 6 population pyramids to compare when you answer your question at the end of the assignment. So in a second, I will show you how to start filling out your population pyramid, and you need to make sure that when you do so, you're carefully paying attention to the age groups that you're using, because on the calculation sheet, you're starting with the youngest age at the top and the oldest age down here on the bottom, But on the diagram, on the age structure diagram, you're going to go the opposite direction. So these first bars that you're going to do are going to end up being on the bottom of the diagram. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, so here we have the graph that we're going to be using to make our population pyramid. And I have some partial data for China, and I'm going to use these to show you how to start the graph. And of course, you're going to have to finish it on your own. So notice that it's looking at male data again versus female data. So we've got male over here on the left-hand side, female is going to be here on the right-hand side. And remember, we're basically making bar graphs. And our 0 is going to be here in the middle. And we need to make sure we're paying attention to the age ranges that they're showing us here over on the left-hand side, or the equivalent over here on the right-hand side, depending on are we looking at male or female. So we're starting from 0 and we're going to whatever percentage we calculated. So start with the first one, which I'm going to look at right here, which is 3.2%. So that's for the 0 to 4 range. So I'm going to start here from the 0, and I see that 3 is right here, and 0.2 is going to be just a little bit past the 3. So I'm just going to take my marker and I'm going to make a line, and you're going to use colored pencils or pens or whatever. I would suggest colored pencils. And that's going to be the line for my first bar. And so there's my first bar. That one's done. I'm just going to put a little dot there so that I know that I did that one. My next one for the age 5 to 9 range for males is 3.1%. So and this is where it gets a little tricky because we're using a really small graph. And so just your 3.1 is going to be just slightly smaller than your 3.2, which was below it. So there's going to be a lot of similarities, and that's okay. Just again, we're doing the best that we can. And then the next one for the age range of 10 to 14 for males is 3.0. So we're going to connect these two plus signs right here. So there's my bar, and again you can see there's just a slight staggering that's going on here. And then my next one for ages 15 to 19 is going to be 3.4%. So that's going to be just under half. So here's my 3 again, there's my 4. So 3.5 would be a little bit closer. And I'm making my bar. And so I've got bars for each of the 4 percentages that I calculated for the male population. So I'm going to do the bars that I have, or the percentages that I have for the female population. So I'm going to switch colors. So you should be using 2 different colors. It doesn't matter what colors you use as long as they are 2 different colors, one for male, one for female. So looking here, 2.7%. So again, I'm going to start at the 0, and I'm looking at my first age range, which was the 0 to 4. So 0 to 4 is down here. 2.7, there's 2% here, there's 3% here. I know that 2.7 is greater than 2.5, so it's going to be past the middle. And almost 2/3 of the way through, or roughly there. And draw my line. There's my bar for the first one. So I'll put a dot so that I know I did it. My next one for the age 5 to 9 range is going to be 0.6. So again, just slightly below the first one. And there's my bar. So I put my little dot so I know I did it. And then 2.5, which again, just under the other one. So there's my bar. And then my last one is 2.9, so just shy of 3. And then I connect all my lines. There's my bars. And then, of course, when I'm done, I'm going to go back and I'm going to shade everything in, but I need to finish my population pyramid first. So you're going to continue doing the same thing. Of course, in order to do this, you have to make sure you've calculated all of your percentages. And now you can see why we didn't want to go farther than 0.1%. Why it was really important when we did our math, we rounded to the nearest tenth, because we were trying to go with 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. It would be harder to graph than it is with 1/10. So when you're finished, you should have 3 finished population pyramids for each of the 3 countries that you have. Make sure that you write the name of the country up at the top so I know which one it is. And then you're going to be combining your data with your partner's data, and you're going to be working on the analysis questions when you finish both sets of calculations and both sets of population pyramids.